Are you tired of your phone being a distraction? Well, iOS 18 has a bunch of productivity and organizational tools built right into it to help you stay focused. With the past few operating system updates, we're now able to customize pretty much everything about our home screen and lock screens on our phone. Not only can you change the photos that you want to use for your background, you can also change the widgets that are displayed on your home screen, as well as the buttons on the bottom of your lock screen. I recommend using widgets to display important information so you don't have to unlock your phone to see this stuff, or adding shortcuts for apps. If you don't use your stock camera or flashlight that often, I recommend changing these for something that's more useful for you. With iOS 18, we can now place icons and widgets wherever we want on our home screens. I recommend using folders and pages to group together similar apps and put apps that you use more frequently closer to the bottom of the screen so they're not as hard to reach. I like that you can use focus modes to change how your home screen and lock screen work depending on the activity that you're working on. Don't forget that you can also change the color of your apps, but you can also remove the titles. I love that with iOS 18, we can also customize our control center right in the control center. If you look in the top left-hand corner, there's a plus button, and if you press that, you can add any widgets from here or remove the ones that you don't want anymore. I recommend getting rid of all of the widgets that you don't use frequently and add the ones that you use on a daily basis. Apple's added a whole bunch of new options for widgets in here, so take a look and find ones that work for you. I love that you can also change the size of these widgets now and place them wherever you want them to go, and you can even use a second page if you want. Messages may look the same this year, but there's a key update that I want to point out. There's now a feature where you can emphasize whatever word you want to stand out and the ability to tap back with whatever emoji you choose, but more importantly, there's now the ability to schedule a message for later. There's been times when I want to send somebody an important message, but the timing may not be correct, so I love now that I can schedule this message for later. It's really easy to do this. Just hit the plus button and hit send later. A few updates ago, Apple added the app library, a place that you can take all of the apps off of your main screen and hide them off to the side. But along with this year Apple has added the ability to hide some of these apps in your app library. Now that I've moved most of my apps off of my main screen, my library is pretty full, and so I like the ability now that I can take some of the apps that I still want on my phone and I don't want to delete and hide them from my app library so that I can still search and look around in my app library and not be overwhelmed. To do this, just drag the app that you want to hide into the hidden folder. The Photos app got an absolute overhaul this year with iOS 18, and I find if you don't know how to use it properly, it's kind of tricky to use. The Photos app is trying to resurface and serve you photos that it thinks you want to see, but in my experience, I haven't been a huge fan of this. So I think this year it's more important than ever to have folders of your important images. As you scroll down in your Photos app, there is all kinds of suggestions that Apple thinks you're going to want to use. If you scroll all the way to the bottom and hit customize, you can turn off whatever you don't use and get this a lot closer back to what the Photos app used to be. I would recommend you do this so you don't have to dig through as many suggestions to find what you're actually looking for. If you have a book beside your desk with all of your passwords written down in it, or even worse, you have the same password for every website and just a variation of it, this is the year that we're gonna stop doing that and we're gonna get you onto the Apple Passwords app. This app is built right into iOS 18 and it stores all of your usernames and passwords right in the app. You can lock the app with Face ID so nobody is looking at it, and you can even get the app to generate random passwords for all of the different websites. Along with passwords, you can also store Wi-Fi logins that you use frequently and even share them with a QR code if you'd like to. Speaking of sharing, if you want to share these with your family, you can easily do so, and these also sync between all of your devices, so you can use them on your Mac, you can use them on your iPad. It's really easy. On the surface, the Notes app also looks the same, but there's a couple small features that will help you stay organized and focused. Almost all of the text in here can be customized. You can italicize it, you can change the font, and you can add color to it if you want. There's also collapsible sections if you want to clean up how your notes look. Make sure that you're using folders to keep your notes organized, and add hashtags inside of your notes so that Apple can group these by topic. Also in Notes, there's a really great improved handwriting feature. It's not available on the phones. You need to have an iPad with an Apple Pencil. I've been trying it on my iPad mini and it's really slick. Not too long ago, Apple introduced the reader mode for Safari for when you're browsing and you just want to read a website in a much cleaner way. And this year with iOS 18, we can now remove distractions. I find this is great for staying focused, or even if you want to do like a screen recording or a screenshot and send it to somebody and not have all of this extra clutter on your webpage. I may not use this on the day-to-day, but I find it helps for focus, and if you're showing your phone to somebody else and there's a questionable ad, you can now remove that. In iOS 18, Apple has switched up our calendar app a little bit on our iPhones. We've now got the ability to see the reminders that we've created in the Reminders app right in the calendar. Along with creating events, you can also create reminders in the calendar app. Along with that, there's a few new ways to view your calendar on your screen. And don't forget that you can also turn your phone sideways to see a weekly view. If you stuck around this long, this update I think is the best out of all of them for iOS 18. And that's iPhone screen mirroring with your Mac. If you're working on your Mac and you want to access something on your phone, you can just go down into the menu bar and click iPhone mirroring. It takes a couple seconds to load, but on your Mac, you can access your iPhone screen. I love this simply so I'm not switching between devices. I find I get so distracted when that happens. And I'm also not the fastest typer or multitasker on my phone. I find I'm much better on my Mac, and I can do everything I wanted to do on my phone on my Mac. If I had to complain about one thing, I wish the iPhone screen that the Mac was displaying was a little bit bigger, but this is revolutionary, and I can't believe we were living without this before now. I'm really excited for the Apple Intelligence updates that are coming later this fall. I think they're gonna keep us far more organized, far more focused, and far more productive, but in the meantime, they're not here yet, and I think these iOS 18 features are pretty great. Let me know if I've missed anything from iOS 18 that you use that helps you stay organized and productive. If you learned anything in this video, please give it a thumbs up. My name's Davey, and thanks for letting me spill the gravy. We'll see you in the next one.